If you are ambitious and lazy, then you, my friend, you need to watch this. Probably one of the best videos you're going to watch. It's been recommended to me, so let's check it out.
Stage 1 is called stagnation, and I'd imagine that is likely where you are right now. The reason you feel like you've been thrown in at the deep end without any preparation or guidance is because that's exactly what's happened. You leave school and get your first job, and that's it. You're left to your own devices. So you play it safe by sticking it out in the same job, taking zero chances. If you stay in this stage too long, you risk becoming a debt slave where your income barely keeps up with your monthly expenses. Right now, the national debt clock is sitting at $36 trillion. And
Goodness me, they're printing money faster than Mark Tilbury is right in calling it a debt slave. You will literally be a debt monkey, a
right
debt
now,
slave.
the national debt clock is sitting at $36 trillion and increasing by the second. If this doesn't prove that our society is built on debt, then I don't know what will. People are owning fewer houses, fewer cars and fewer luxuries as the trend of renting instead of owning grows. This isn't just happening because times are changing. The elite have made their plans clear with something called the Great Reset. This aims to shift power away from people by depriving them of ownership and controlling it all themselves. Imagine the government owning your home and then letting someone else live there whenever you're away. This is the future they want, and it means escaping society's trap will be nearly impossible. They've sold us the lie that money doesn't make you happy. This was created by the rich to control the poor.
And Mark Tilbury just said they have sold us. Who are they? The shadow figures, the one that make the phone call and the president has to pick it up. Yes, hello, yes, where were you? Why didn't you pick up? The president was responding to them. I don't know. Hey, I don't want this video to get taken down, so let's
dependent on state pensions that barely cover anything. In reality, money equals freedom, and freedom equals happiness. The rich are just going to keep getting richer, so why not just join them? If you can recognise this stage early, then you can take those calculated risks to get out before it's too late. Don't be part of the 58% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck, which I reckon will increase over the next few years. The first action you take is the most important. Start by gaining full control of your finances. Track every dollar you spend and be honest about what's essential and what's a luxury. Use this awareness to automate your savings so you consistently put money aside each month, no matter how small the amount. At the end of the day,
let's rewind that. So first, number one, gain control of your finances. Track every single dollar. So the gain control of your finances is super easy. I think it's the tracking every single dollar where people are very negligent. It's like, it doesn't really, it's not that deep. But then again, every single $100 or $1,000 or pounds starts off by $1 or 1 cent. So if you don't worry about the little stuff, then obviously you won't be able to manage the big stuff. It almost kind of correlates with what the Bible says. Like, if you're not trusted with little, then you can't be trusted with a lot, obviously.
Aside each month, no matter how small the amount. At the end of the day, even your Xbox is smart enough to save your game progress, so why not save your funds?
Mark Tilbury!
The next stage is called
financial
ignition.
bars.
Now, believe it or not, more than 50% of people never even get to this stage, which means this is when you might start to see a difference between you and your friends. At this stage, you're doing everything you can to break out of stagnation, but it's pretty hard because you've got a couple of things that are holding you back. First is your friends. They won't always like your new attitude, as it forces them to either change themselves or be left behind. Both of these things are very painful. So instead, they will try to drag you back down to their level, as that's the easier option. I'm sure you've experienced this before. When you tell a friend about one of your achievements, they don't seem that happy for you and try to shift the conversation to be all about them. The second issue you're going to face is inflation. Keeping all the money you save in the bank will actually slow you down in the long run and create more stagnation stages along the way. So, how does this happen? Well, due to inflation, the value of cash in your account diminishes year after year. Here's a calculator that shows you the impact of inflation on your savings over time. Now, let's say you have $5,000 in your bank account and you're not earning any interest. if inflation happens at a rate of 2.5% a year, which is pretty normal, in 20 years, your $5,000 will still look like $5,000 in your bank account, but it will only be able to buy the same amount of stuff as $3,051 could buy today. So even though the numbers don't change, the real value of your money shrinks because things get more expensive. That's why saving money in a way that grows over time is so important. So now let's compare that with a scenario where you invest your money. So if you were to invest that same $5,000 into something like the S&P 500, on average a 7% annual return adjusted for inflation, the estimated value of your money after 20 years would grow to over $20,000. However, it's important to note that there are no guarantees. Investment returns can go up and down, and past performance is not a guarantee of future results. So this really shows the power that compounding returns can have over time, instead of letting inflation eat away at your hard-earned cash. If you want to get involved with investing,
and don't forget they're bringing up the prices of everything. I think he's about to do an advert there. It looks like Trading 212. Yeah, Trading 212, we need to talk, because on a couple of my YouTube channels, my referrals hasn't been being credited, and yeah, it's made me lose trust in you guys. But anyways, guys, in regards to the inflation part, the prices are consistently rising up and up of foods. You're hearing the complaints everywhere. Cost of living, cost of living, cost of living. So if you don't do this part, I'm telling you right now, it's pointless. And which is by opening up an ISA, making sure you have an ISA tax-free, all right? £20,000, I believe, if you're in the UK, and then it's a Roth IRA, blah, 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 in America, elsewhere. Look into what I'm talking about. You're going to see you're missing out if you don't do this. I would suggest try maxing out your ISA if you can. It's 20,000 per month. Try and max that out. And then anything above that is now money for you to invest. But you know, obviously, it's going to get taxed for realized profits if you ever take profits or whatever it is. But if you don't do this step, I promise you, this is probably the #1 step that's holding you back. Open up an ISA account and start downloading money into it. Obviously, nothing is guaranteed, just like Mark Tilbury just said. But the best thing that you could do for yourself, ISA account, start downloading money in there and then picking which stocks you're going to do. It's going to get you on the right path, because all of this stuff can be super confusing. And I know this from... I used to be in your shoes. I know this is very confusing. Oh, I'll start tomorrow. I'll get into crypto tomorrow. Before you know it, things are taking off and you're missing out on the gains that you could be making. You see? So let's see some of these comment section. You work for 42. Let me bring this mic here. You work for 42 years to have 2 million in your retirement. Meanwhile, some people are putting just 20k in a meme coin. I'm telling you. And becoming a multi-millionaire. It's the truth. But obviously it's high risk, high reward, as you hear. So I'm not pushing you towards anything. You have to do your own due diligence and research. But it is possible. Even with a 9-to-5, if you're wise and you do crazy amounts of hours safely, and then for 6 months to a year, you save up and then you decide to go in with that money. And by going in, I mean like jumping in a stock, a blue chip. It can be a blue chip or something a bit more volatile, or even Tesla, even Bitcoin. It's up to you, because I've seen crazy amounts of gains with them. So it's up to you. And then the rest will be history. You position yourself in such a place where you're like, oh my days, I don't want to retire, but I don't have to worry about money anymore, because maybe your net worth now is like 100 or 80k. See what I'm talking about? We'll do this. I want you to head over to Mark Tilbury's YouTube page and check out the rest basically on his channel, to be honest with you guys, because this video is too good and I want to obviously bring the traffic over there as well. So go ahead and do that. But like, share, let me know if you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you on the next.